What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I am standing in front of, well, a bunch of parts for RuSTi. We still have a lot in the way, but we got good progress here. Now, this isn't all of them, but you probably saw we have the front bumper chilling on the ground here. And then if we come out to the living room, we also have two brand new unpainted front fenders for the car. So because I'm going to be wrapping the car, as long as they're primed and good to go, we can wrap over them. So tonight I did get home a little bit late from work, but I want to try to get the fenders on, the bumper mounts obviously, because I have those. Just got to find some bolts to fit. And then yeah, just make sure everything lines up good. We do have a hood on the way. It's supposed to be here, I think, early next week, I believe. But we should be able to get this stuff on tonight. So let's get Panzer backed out. We'll get RuSTi centered in the garage. And yeah, get these things bolted up. I only have about 3 bolts in. We got one here, one here, one here, just loosely sitting in there to hold it on. But these things actually fit perfect. I have no complaints whatsoever. Around the headlight, we are Gucci. The line here is perfect. The gaps are on the side. I mean, I'll show you my bumpers on this car, or my fenders, I mean. Gap there is pretty much the same. Gap all the way down is the same. And around the headlight, you still have that little gap behind the headlight. It's the exact same on this one. This gap will probably close up a little bit more, but honestly, that's pretty good. Same with this one. And then, yeah, same little gap behind the headlight. Let's get the rest of the bolts in. She looks perfect. Everything is now tightened down. Fender is 100% secured to the car, and it looks pretty good. This gap, you see we got this line lined up pretty perfect, and then the gap down on the side of the door is good as well. You can see right in here is, yeah, exactly how we want it. And then this piece will go on and obviously fix that gap. And then you can see if we open the door, no rub. That's exactly what we want. So now we just gotta do the same thing on the other side of the car. And then I have to find some screws to mount the little bumper clips here, because I have those, we just don't have screws for them. And then we can probably get the front bumper on. I do have a crash bar as well for this car. Should be out in the back shed. Dug out some old bolts from the other hatch. Luckily we still have pretty much all the bolts I took off. And because we had to space that one out with the front mount kit, I still have the stock bolts for the washer fluid tank. So slap them on. Now we don't have a dingly dangly washer fluid tank anymore. Now let's get the fender on, and then we'll move on to the bumper. I did find the stock crash bar bolts from the other car as well, so we can get that on, and this thing will start to come together. Same deal with this guy. Fits up pretty freaking perfect. Couldn't be much better than that. So yeah, super happy with how the fenders turned out. Hopefully the bumper turns out the same way. Let's go grab the crash bar and hopefully we can get that guy bolted right up to our frame. Bumper bracket's super easy to go on. That's an OEM piece, so it's just the 2 clips that go into the fender and then 1 bolt that goes into like the side of the headlight. That's it. I did have to drill a little bit bigger of a hole in the top of the fender, but nothing crazy. I think it was like a 3/8 inch drill bit, kind of twirled around in there a little bit and that thing clipped right in. So we'll just tap that up with a little paint pen so it doesn't rust, and we'll move on to the other side. This side has a little bit different of an issue. You can see right here where the fender's kind of wrinkled up. I think that's supposed to be cut off because if we take this clip, if we try to get that clip in that hole, it's actually hitting this back part. So this has to be trimmed, just this little corner, and then it should fit just fine. So all I really have to cut metal is an angle grinder. It's gonna be a little aggressive on this. So I guess we'll just take it easy and yeah, trim that little bit off. Well, gosh dang, check that fitment. That's not too shabby. I do have a grill, I do have the vents, I did order some side vents. The side, also pretty freaking good. Starting to look like a Subaru again. We're definitely gonna need a lip for the bottom. It looks like we can definitely drop the car a little ways. I don't wanna go too much because I don't wanna have to cut anything. But you can definitely tell how much of a difference the flares make on that car. We can drop it right to the ground almost. This one, we just got a good freaking 7-8 inches under there. So yeah, not too bad. Pretty happy with that. Everything fits up as it should. And once we get a grill and all the vents in there, it'll look a whole lot better. And then obviously once everything's color matched. But for now, it's a good night's work. I'll pick up on this video after work tomorrow, so I'll see you guys then. Peace. Well, you guys wonder why I can't make progress on my own cars. There you go. That's why, because friends come first. We got, I don't know if she wants to be recorded. Our car died at work today and needs an alternator, so this thing is at the very bottom of the block. So we got a lot of tearing apart to do to get to this thing, but hopefully we can have her out of here by the end of the night and the car will freaking run. A little stressful, huh?
A lot of stressful.
So let's get this thing pulled apart and see what we can do. Look, she's already helped me out. Not even a lug nut in there. So looking underneath this car, the alternator is actually that pulley way up there on top of your AC compressor. So we got to pull this guy off, obviously take our tensioner, take our belt off. AC compressor's got to drop down, and then alternator is way up on top of it. And once we have this drop down, we should be able to drop the alternator right down behind it. All right, just got the alternator pulled out. Not too bad on these things, honestly. It's pretty tight. Once you get the serpentine belt off, drop your AC compressor and you can get the bolts. So we got the old one here. This is the new guy. We got 115 amp. They make a 115 and a 140. Pretty sure the 140 is for like the fully decked out loaded models. So hopefully this one is our guy. Let's get this thing slapped up in there. It's gonna be kind of a hoot. It's gotta go down in there, somewhere in the middle. We should be able to get it. If we got it out, we can get it back in. Just got the car completely back together. Obviously, putting a new alternator in isn't gonna charge the battery. So we still have to jump it, and then hopefully the alternator will help heal the battery because, you know, obviously if you're running without it, everything in the car is pulling from the battery and yeah, nothing's helping it. So we're gonna try to get this jumped real quick and then should be on our way. Happy? Almost happy. You're gonna be happy, hopefully.
Once it starts.
Are your lights still on? I think your alternator was bad, but I think these terminals aren't grabbing the fucking battery. Hold on. Let me find my multimeter. 13. That should be plenty enough to start the car. But it also has the alternator hitting it right now. 13 is plenty enough to have any bit of power when you go to start it. Something's weird with the terminals. I find it really weird that the jump pack has to be on there such a certain way for it to read anything. Want to try it? Wow, baby! Well, you have a new alternator. So, if something goes bad, there's a good chance it's not that. I don't know if you guys saw the whole fucking engine wobble when she started that, but little sus. Little sus.
At least it started this time.
So, turns out, if I'm gonna be 100% honest, I don't think the alternator was actually bad. We got the alternator in, it was still acting funny, like it would click and wouldn't do anything else. And then it would die out completely. And I know it happens all the time with the Subarus. The terminals get whack and then it'll click, it won't do anything. So took the terminals off, cleaned them all off, got them back in, and the thing runs tits. So you got a new alternator. So at least if something goes bad now, there's a good chance it's not the alternator. But at least the car's back up and running. Should be able to get to work in the morning and all is good. So back to the hatch. Next thing we got to do is get our wheel studs replaced. If you guys remember from the first video, there's a broken or stripped out wheel stud right near back right. So we got to get all these extended wheel studs knocked out, and then I do have some stock ones to throw in. I've never ran into any issues with stocks. We run stocks on that one, and yeah, so that's what we're gonna slap back into this. So let's get our wheels off, brakes off, and we should be able to get those studs out. If you have an STI like this guy, it's a little tight getting these things out. I think you'd probably have to take the hub off to get these things put on, but I was able to get them out through this area right here. You can see back here it kind of rubs a little bit against the knuckle, but you're able to kind of pound it out the side. So now we got to go get our stock ones, obviously 5 per hub, and we'll get those in. We have a little tool that we kind of put on the front side of the hub. Once we get the stud in, goes over the hub, and then the lug nut tightens the stud nice and snug up against the back. So I'll show you guys that, but yeah, it should be super simple. Here's one of our factory studs. So what we're gonna do is just slide it in. They obviously fit a lot better because they're not super long. Now obviously you have to get that into the hub somehow, and that's why we have this tool, which has a little bearing in it. Kind of sit it up over the stud like that, and then all you do is take a lug nut, put it over the top, and thread that lug nut on, and we should be able to tighten that right up. Use the impact, makes your life super quick and easy. And yeah, let's get these on and we can get the wheel back on. All right, we finally have a wheel properly secured to the car, proper lug nuts, and nothing's weird. So, happy with that. The rear is a little bit more difficult because you have the drum brakes. So I believe we might have to take those apart, or I'll just cut the old studs out. They are like a whole double the size of the normal studs. So I think if we cut these out, we should be able to still just slide these ones in, which is what I might do. So. So this hole right here is the one that caused this whole mess, where we actually stripped one of these studs out inside of. Now, I was just gonna replace the hub, but I wanted to see first if we could just get a stud in there. And I just test fit one of these new guys, and it does fit pretty tight. So we're gonna pull it in, make sure it can hold torque, make sure, you know, nothing's weird's gonna happen. But I think we should be okay. So let's get it in there. We'll torque it down once we get the wheel on, and if it doesn't work, then we'll have to replace the hub. But I think we'll be all right. Just finished up the passenger side. The rear wheel seems to be holding just fine. No issues with that stud. It went in there super tight, and I think we're good to go. So what I'm gonna do now, just gonna drag the car out, kind of spin it in here sideways, do the driver's side, get that knocked out, and then we should be good with studs. This car needs an alignment really, really bad. I don't think, they probably slapped the coils out. Ugh. They probably slapped the coils up. It's a little hot out today. They probably slapped the coilovers in and didn't do anything after. Based on what I'm seeing with the rest of this car, yeah, I'm gonna have to do a full once over on the coilovers, bring it in for an alignment, get this thing dialed in. But I'm gonna knock out the driver's side real quick. While I do that, camera's gonna go on the charger, and I also have to clear the SD card because we are packed full, boys. So I'll catch you in a bit. Just finish up the driver's side. 100% complete, super easy, really. Same thing, I just cut off the studs on the back and then threw the shorter ones in there. But that pretty much wraps up everything I wanted to get done on the car right now. I do have a lot of the pieces to work on the interior. We're still waiting on the seat back from the previous seller. He's actually gonna send it to me with some other stuff. But for right now, I wanted to get the studs done. We got the fenders, bumper fitted, and next thing I have to do as well, like I said, the alignment is way off, but we can get it somewhat close. The camber adjustment we can mess with a little bit. It is, yeah, there's a lot of weird toe going on, a lot of weird camber. We'll figure it out. I might wait until we get new wheels for the car because more than likely we'll have to adjust again once we get the wheels, but we'll see. We'll see. If I want to drive this thing before we get wheels, I'll have to adjust the camber now. But I'm going to wrap up this video right here. Hope you guys enjoyed. Catch you in the next one. Peace out. See y'all later. By the way, for all you OCD guys like me who are probably wondering why I didn't clean the caliper on the back passenger side, I went ahead and took the wheel off and cleaned that because I totally forgot to do it beforehand. So there you go.